Yes.
Hi, it's Brian Newman with the Spotlight of Business Owner Show, and today we're thrilled to have Ariana Vasquez. She's with Credit Ballers. Hi, Ariana, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's great to have you on the show. So, yeah, you got a great business. I was looking it over before you came on at your website, and yeah, it's really very helpful to a lot of consumers, and but before we get into that business, can you tell people how did you get started?
My credit journey has been something else. I actually filed for bankruptcy in 2012. And
Oh,
before that, I just did not know anything about credit. And so I rebuilt my credit myself. After my bankruptcy, I started being very responsible with it. And a lot of my friends were like, hey, can you help me with your credit, or what do you do? And
yeah.
so, I was just helping friends on the side, here and there and things like that. But I
Oh,
have to owe it to my husband because he was actually with a lot of the bigger companies, like Lexington Law, Fortress Credit, things like that. And he was paying like all this money to, get things off of his credit. Especially, he was really notorious with like credit inquiries, especially when you get cars, they always want to tack on like 10 different, they always want to, how do you say, they always run your credit, and then you have like 10
oh
inquiries
yeah.
on your credit, especially when you apply for a vehicle.
Oh
So
yeah.
he found the software for me he was like, hey, why don't you learn how to do this? He's like, it seems like you're really responsible and good with your credit. And so I learned the software, and then I kind of just took it off from there. I was like, oh my gosh, I should turn this into a business. And then I started doing free clients just to make sure I could perfect my craft. And then
Uh-huh.
just went from there. And then now, of course, I'm in business.
Ah, that's amazing. They're really no, and I mean it's hard to pull yourself out of having bad credit, right?
Right.
Oh, okay. No, so what services do you offer, people that do have bad credit?
So besides, of course, credit restoration, number one thing is credit education. My job is basically, and what I like to do is make sure that you create healthy credit habits that you can carry on for the future. A lot of people, what ends up happening is they deal with a lot of companies that they just dispute, but they're not building any positive credit. And same thing with like knowing when to make your payments, credit utilization, credit age, all those things. So educating my clients, everyone's different, everyone's credit journey is different. So educating them is definitely number one. And then, it's like, as we're taking away the negatives, we have to have positives added.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
people's credit will plummet. So that's basically, credit education and credit restoration.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I help people get approved, help them rebuild.
And what is, I know FICO scores is that's what they base it on. Can you tell people what is a FICO score and what's a good score for them to have?
So a FICO score, basically, that's what the lenders use. Creditors and lenders use my FICO. So myfico.com is like the best app you can have. If you're in
Oh,
credit restoration, we use what's called Vantage scores. And the reason why is because we have a CRM, which is a software that has to link from, like, let's say I use Identity IQ or Smart Credit, which is way better than using Credit Karma. Credit Karma is trash.
oh, really? Oh,
Yes,
wow.
because it only gives you 2 scores, and it's kind of more of a simulation. They're a third-party app. Like I said, you do get what you pay for. So
Uh-huh.
when you get, a paid service like Smart Credit or Identity IQ, you're able to get, your credit report and your 3 bureau credit scores, which is very important. Um, so if somebody's trying to make a purchase, like purchase a home, get a credit card, open a loan or anything like that, what you want to do is you want to refer to your FICO scores.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and there's other credit card companies out there. What makes yours unique?
Credit education, I educate my clients and I'm very one-on-one with them. I basically hold my client's hand throughout their entire journey to make sure that, they're getting to where they need to be and help them achieve their goals when it comes to credit. That is definitely a big plus with working with me, and you don't get lost in the cracks.
Well, I think it also helps, since you've been through the journey yourself,
Right.
you know what I mean? You can relate, You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
yeah, that is really, really a plus. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know who would be your ideal client?
I mean, the worse your credit is, the better.
Oh,
So, yes.
wow.
Yes, the worse it is, the better because I love a big mess. I like to fix things. Um, and so to me, I mean, the thing is when somebody signs on, or let's just say somebody does a consultation, I like to see where they're at. If somebody has one item on their credit, it's kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of boring for me because there's not really much to do. And I kind of just like, just guide them. I usually give a lot of free advice and pointers and
Uh-huh.
things and what they can be doing. So they don't really need my services. So that's why I do the free consultation to see where someone is at. So that way I know that they can benefit from my program.
Oh, okay, okay. I want to review or remind our viewers again, we're talking to Ariana. She's with Credit Ballers. How can they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
They can text credit help to 602-319-9928. Also on social media, I'm also known as Ariana Adams. I just recently got married a month ago. Uh,
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yes, so
congratulations.
thank you. So I have a link there where you can also, it's lnk.bio/credit ballers. And if you text me credit help, I can pretty much assist you from there. I'm all over social media. Even if you look up credit ballers, you can Google it. You'll see all my links and
Oh,
you'll
okay.
be,
Oh,
you'll be able to find.
I like your logo. That's cool.
Thank
No,
you.
yeah, so what is the process? You know what I mean? Like for someone that wants to sign up with you, what would be the process and what would they expect?
So first things first, I like to do the free consultation to see exactly where you're at, just by just hearing what you're going through in your with your credit. And then what I like to do is I like to explain what my services are. Also, I don't do traditional disputing. I do what's called Metro 2 compliance, which is it's more effective way of disputing items on someone's credit report. Um, but also when I assess the free consultation, my next step is to do an in-depth credit analysis. I do charge $97 for that. And what you get with that is a in-depth credit analysis report that lets me and what is on your credit, what's affecting you from negative accounts to credit utilization. There's some educational materials as well. I also do a Loom video going over everything, explaining everything that I see and come up with solutions and make suggestions. And the reason why I do a Loom video is that way if a client, talking on the phone is one thing, but if you have a video, you can always go back to it. So it's really beneficial for them to have in case they're like, hey, I wonder what she said,
Oh
they
yeah.
can just go back to it pretty much.
Oh no,
And
that's
then,
great.
and then after that, I let them know, hey, if you want to sign up with my services, we can start the process. It's really easy. Everyone gets a online portal that's available to them 24/7. And then, so normally it's 153 to start, which includes your first month of rounds and then of rounds of disputes. And then it's 179 every 30 days thereafter. And then pretty much I don't do any contracts or anything like that, but I always ask my clients to at least stay with me for at least a minimum of 90 to 120 days so they can start seeing optimal results. And then depending on where they're at, I always make suggestions like, let's say somebody doesn't have any positive accounts that are reporting to their, on their credit. So one thing is your credit file, your score will follow. Everybody always focuses on their credit score, and you can still get denied for things even though you have a high credit score.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's just on a case to case basis. So it's all, everyone's different. Everyone's journey is different.
So it takes about what, 90 days before they start seeing their credit scores improve?
So somebody, like say we're adding positive accounts. So the first round of disputes is basically getting the ball rolling. Not saying that they won't see any results, but that's
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, so again, yeah, how long does it take for someone to start seeing results and improve their scores?
So a lot of times, some clients need to add positive accounts, which don't hurt their credit. These are stepping stones, especially if they have a low credit score and they're always getting denied for things. So I make suggestions of, I have resources that will help them get there. And like I said, these are stepping stones. And so people need to keep in mind that anytime you open a new account, it takes at least 30 to 60 days for it to start reporting on your credit report.
Oh,
So you can start seeing those positives. But, like I said, everyone's case is different. So, typically you start seeing results within the first 60 days. But, as long as somebody's not tacking on things on their credit, some people get really excited. They see their credit score go up and then they start applying for things. And then now they're adding
uh-huh.
more inquiries. So there's more that than your score. That's why I say it's all about your credit file. So I like to build your credit file and then your score follows. Um, so
Okay.
that's pretty much how it works.
Ariana, also, is it good, like what age should someone start building their credit? You know what I mean? I remember myself, I'll never forget, someone told me when I was in college that you should start at a young age. And I'll never forget, I bought a vacuum cleaner and I paid it off over like, maybe three payments, you know what I mean? And I was always conscious of my credits, making payments on time and all that over the years. So I
Right.
never had a problem, but I was just curious. So is it at a young age? But I'm sure, as you get older, that's when the problems happen. You have things that come up and you can't pay things on time. And is that the only thing that causes your scores to go bad, is a delay in payments? Or
So
could yeah, does someone break into your account and they could affect your credit that way too?
absolutely, all those factors can affect you. The first thing is, the thing is when you're young, you get these credit cards and people say, let's say you get a $5,000 credit card. Nobody tells you. You think, oh, hey, I have $5,000 to spend.
Oh, yeah.
When in our reality, people should at least, you don't, whatever you have. So everybody uses their debit card for something, right? You're not gaining points by using your debit card. So whatever money you have in your debit card, you can use that as credit and pay your credit card with whatever you have in your debit card. People go over their heads and, max their credit cards out. And that's how these high utilizations start getting reported. So the thing is creating healthy credit habits. And a lot of times when you're younger, you don't know these things because you get excited that you have a credit card.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and they want to see, making payments on time. Absolutely. A late payment will literally knock off 100 points off your credit.
Oh,
And I see
wow.
that a lot. Yes, that's like, oh my God, that's horrible. And another thing is, closed accounts. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're hanging on to a credit card and you're not utilizing it, you're going to lose that due to inactivity. And I see that a lot as well. So it's kind of like a game, like, and then also I always tell my clients, don't use more than 20% of the available credit, because anything over 20% just doesn't help you. It shows high balances, as also known as high utilization. But let's say,
Oh,
you have a business owner, somebody that's using their credit card, they have, let's say, and it doesn't have to be a business owner, it can be anybody. As
uh-huh.
long as you have the money to pay it back, then you're good to go. But there's two dates that people should always know on their credit cards. One is the reporting date, which is also known as your closing date, and your due date. And the reason why is because sometimes, if you're going over the 20% per month, you want to at least pay 90% of your bill 7 to 10 days before that reporting date, also known as closing date, and then leave about a 10% balance for the due date. That way your utilization is low. People that
Oh,
have an 850 credit score, 800 to 850, they only use about 4% of their credit. Anywhere from 1 to 9% is like where they're at, and they're not always applying for things. So credit
uh-huh.
age, credit utilization, the mix of credit. I always recommend that at least clients have one installment account and at least 2 to 3 revolving accounts at minimum. So having that credit mix is really healthy for you, for your credit file.
Oh, okay. No, so what is a normal score again? And then what, like what's dangerous? Like what did you say? 870 or 850 or
No,
something?
so 800, like people that have, everyone wants to get to an 800, 850 credit score. But the thing is, it's the people
Is
that have
that
that.
perfect?
That's
850 is
like
perfect?
perfect. Yeah, absolutely. That's like you can go anywhere and you're going to get the best interest rates. That's another thing of having good credit is you have the benefit of
Oh,
getting the best interest rates. You know, when you have bad credit, you get these double-digit interest rates, especially when you're getting a car, a loan, or anything like that. So you end up paying more by having a bad credit score, or bad
okay.
credit file, should I say? Because like you can have a high credit score, you can be at a 745, 800. But if your credit age isn't, they go by your credit age as well as, other factors that can also affect you. If you have too many inquiries, they look at it as, okay, this person's really desperate for credit and they're always applying for things. So
Oh,
they won't give you that. Like, for example, my dad, I was able to build his credit up to a 745, but his credit age was only 4 months. So he was still getting denied for things. I mean, he got
oh,
approved for certain things, but he was still getting denied because, the length of history on his accounts wasn't that high. Wasn't, it's the longer you hold on to your accounts, the better. So when you have a closed account, you lose that credit age.
oh, okay. Yeah, which leads me to our final question. Yeah, I was going to ask you, is it good then to pay off your credit cards early, or is it good to leave them open and continue making payments? What do you
So
advise people?
yes, so you always want to, let's just say you're not utilizing a credit card at all. At least put something stupid like a Netflix bill or get $20 in gas, something that's under the 20% range, because that way it's reporting every month. You always want to
Oh,
pay your cards off every month. That's why I say, know when your reporting date is, also known as your closing date, especially if you're utilizing more than 20%, and then pay your cards off, pay the remainder balance on the due date. And always remember, anything
ah,
that you're carrying over onto the next month, you're paying interest on that. So a lot of people say, I don't want a credit card because it's too much interest. Well, if you pay your card off, if you're responsible, you don't pay interest.
oh, okay, okay. All right. So, can you just let people know once again, what's the best way to get in touch with you? Is it to make a phone call, to text you, go to your website, or all of the above?
Yes, they can text credit help to 602-319-9928. They can also give me a call. Like I said, I do free consultations. They can also go to lnk.bio/credit ballers, CREDITBALLERS. And they can click on my calendar and they can literally pick a day and time that works for them. And I'll give you a call and we can talk about, where you're at in your credit journey and see how I can help you.
Oh, okay, great. And Ariana, yeah, thanks. I'll tell you, it's an eye opener. You know, yeah, I wish I would have known about you years ago. And yeah, people should learn.
Well, I'm
So
here.
again, no. So again, if you're viewing the video, yeah, reach out to Ariana. She's got a great business, and she can help you improve your credit scores and make the purchases that you want. So again, 602-319-9928 is a good number. So Ariana, thank you so much for being on the show. It's great to
Thank you for
meet you.
having me.
Yeah, my pleasure.